our real world rule of money today is the difference between average performance and actual performance. So with averages, how are averages calculated? How do you calculate an average? You have several numbers, whether it's 5 numbers, 12 numbers, 700 numbers, whatever it is. We add all those numbers together and divide by the amount that we have. So let's say that we're trying to calculate the average performance of an investment. Well, to create that average is, if this was a hypothetical scenario where there was an account that did positive 10, negative 10, positive 10, negative 10, positive 10, negative 10, and it did that for 10 straight years in a row, if we actually were to figure out what the average of that is, we would add up all of those numbers and we would get 0. And then at the end, the next thing we do is we take 0, we divide it by the amount of numbers that are there, and of course 0 goes into 10 times 0 times, and so we get an average of 0. And so if we were to apply this to an investment, we could say, or a fact sheet of some kind would say, that this investment has averaged 0% interest over the last 10 years. And whether these numbers are positive 10, negative 10, exactly the same like that, I mean, you wouldn't have an investment that performed that way. But regardless of what those numbers are, averages are figured out the same way that averages are figured out. But what's interesting about averages and actuals when it comes to money, and when money is applied to this, is if we were to now start with a lump sum of money, grow it by 10%, lose 10, grow by 10, lose 10, etc., etc., this is what it would look like. If the market went up 10% and then down 10% for 10 years, we'd start out with 1,000. We go up just the first round of positives and negatives, we're down $10 after 2 years, even though it went up 10 and down 10. Then we go up 10 and down 10 again, and we lose another $10. Now we're down $20, but really if you look at the average, we would only be down by 10%, but we've lost 20, right? And then we keep going, and we keep going, and we keep going, and we keep going, and we keep going. Excuse me, we wouldn't have lost 20. We would have lost $20 is what I meant, not 20%. But we just go up and down 10% each time, and after we do that 10 times, we would look at the sheet. The actual and the average are different. The average return would say that we averaged 0. But if you look at the end result, would you say that going from $1,000 to 951 would be averaging 0? Because if we would have actually gotten 0, we would still be at $1,000, yet we've lost $49. And that is the difference between average and actual return. And so sometimes in the world of finance, someone will be talking about an investment or an investor, and they will say they have averaged X on an investment. Now, people say, well, okay, I get it now. Now I need to ask them what the actual return is. Well, the actual return, one of the reasons that is hard to go over the actual return is because when you apply money to it, that end result is going to be a different amount of money for each person. And so it's looking at the per year growth or loss of an investment, seeing what it does year by year, and finding the actual return. So that is the difference between actual and average return in our real world rule of money for today.